pre-discussion before we start the podcast is always a good time. Episode number 94 of the Shant and Adi podcast. Shant, how you feeling tonight, big guy?
I feel good. I feel like a lot of the stuff we talk about on air, off air, before and after is like way better than what we actually discuss on the podcast because we get a little more intense, I feel like.
Shant was just telling me about real estate and rental property investing and his father's retirement life. Can you let's get into this a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about Viamo's retirement life. Not so much just the rental property, but his day to day. What's Daddy-O been doing?
So he's busy. He's always pretty busy, right? Like anytime we ask them, like, hey, can you guys come take Leo? He's like, well, okay, let me see. I got some stuff to do. I'm like, okay. So like yesterday, they were busy because they had to go because I think the raspberries were on sale at Sprouts. So they have to go get raspberries. And I'm not even joking.
They're busy. The day had to be. They had to divvy up their time to make time for you in that whole process of getting the raspberries.
Yeah, because it's pretty important. It was, I think, 50 cents off, right? So they had to. And my mom's like, how many do you guys need? Like, I'm like, dude, we don't need to stock up on fucking raspberry. Yeah, it's not that serious. It's okay if we miss it and next week we get it for 50 cents more. We're going to survive.
Just a side note, man, when they put those raspberries and blackberries on sale, chances are they're going to go bad.
Yeah.
They're going to turn white and moldy. And anyway, so
yeah,
I feel bad when Viamo finds out.
So that's one day. Cause like also you have to understand, like, my parents eat dinner early, right? So my mom has to get home and create a full course meal for my dad. So like they have like a small window before they come home and she has to start prepping for her meal.
Why does he make her go through this every day?
It's been like 40 years. Like, leave the woman alone, like just let her be.
And what feast did she prepare for him?
I don't know. So it's and my dad, if anyone knows my dad, he will not eat leftovers. It's just a forbidden rule, right? Like every Sunday when we go over, like Sunday we were there for Easter, he made kebab, made all this food. And he's always like, okay, take it home, whatever is left, take it home. And we're like, oh, we'll leave some for you. He's like, no. Like, just.
Not necessary.
But like.
Not a peasant.
Yeah, he's giving us the trash basically to take.
Please take this trash on your way out.
And he thinks he's doing us a favor. Like, no, tu gerek. Like, you're fine. You guys eat it. It's okay. You guys don't know shit, basically. So she has to prep a meal. My mom doesn't eat anything my dad eats because she doesn't eat really meat often unless it's like kebab on a Sunday. So like she has her greens that she makes for the week and she eats that all week. The same shit she eats every day. So she has to prep a meal for this guy every day. And it has to be like a new thing. Like it can't be just like, oh, I ate that last Tuesday. I can't do that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
like,
God, man. Oh, she's such a sweet lady, man. You know?
And like my mom sometimes like, hey, I want to come watch Leo help out, but like I can't. I got to cook dinner for dad. I'm like, fuck, just leave the guy.
Get him Burger King, man. What the fuck's wrong with you?
He's a grown ass man. He could survive. Like Leo needs help.
Leo's getting like a 2-item dinner, and Viamo has to like just stay on the couch and just scream shit. Like, what is this? And they say that they had it hard, Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, so it's like a complete shit show, right? but it's funny to watch that. Like my whole dad's whole day revolves around what he's going to eat for dinner. Like that's it. You know the drill, right?
Man,
Um,
tell me
and
more about his retirement life. What else is he?
so that takes a big chunk of their day, right? Like that's a big. That's like almost a full-time job, right? That they have to like, oh, tomorrow we're eating thing. I gotta go. Like, I gotta go to the market. I gotta go. The meat comes in today. I gotta go test it out because he's still like they know him. The meat places he goes, they all fucking know him. He goes into Costco's like in the back to pick up the meat he likes. It's like I feel sorry for anyone that comes across my dad at a grocery store because he's like grabs a tomato. He's like, no, it's no good. Like, go get something else in the back. Go bring me out something else. And they're just like, sir, like it's not out. Like,
When should I come back for the fresh one?
a teenager, like doesn't know what the hell's going on. My dad's like yelling at him. It's a mess. So besides that, which just takes up a lot of their time, my dad creates a lot of unnecessary work for his rental property, right? We have a duplex, right? And I set it up for him, man. I set it up perfectly. He's like, hey, I have this much to invest. I want to buy something so we can kind of have a family thing. I was like, okay. I set it up for him where we purchased the property. I get the tenants in there. I screen the tenants. I interview the tenants, get everything set up. It's fully remodeled. He doesn't have to touch anything, right? All he has to do is just sit there and click accept on Venmo every month from the tenants, right? The two tenants. That's all he has to do.
They
Right?
Venmo him the rent?
Yeah. They Venmo it to him. Everything. I have a smooth operation, bro. Anything happens, they call me. I take care of it. I figure out. All he has to do is sit there and accept the Venmo payment every month. That's it. Simple, right?
How does he fuck this up?
So yesterday he calls me, or the other day. No, like I called him for something. And he's brought this up like periodically, like little hints. But he's like, when the tenants move out, no more appliances. They bring their own appliances. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, Dad, like people come in, they need appliances.
Even when you buy a house, it comes with appliances.
Yeah, he's like, no. He's like, my friend Levon, he has a rental property. He doesn't put appliances in there. I was like, okay, listen, Levon's a great guy. Good guy, right? It's his friend out here. Really nice guy, actually. He actually builds homes and stuff. I'm like, but this is what I do for a living, Dad. Okay? I'm in real estate. That's what I do. You need fucking appliances in the house. He's like, well, when we were renting in New York, when we first moved in, he's like, they had no fridge, no washer or dryer. I was like, that was 40 years ago, bro. That was in New York. And that was 40 years ago. Rules don't apply the same, man. Like times have changed. Fridge, washer, dryer, you should have it. He's like, no, but if it breaks, I'm like, okay. If it breaks, he's making $1,400 a month, $1,200 a month in his pocket, clean money, no problem. We let him keep the money, let him keep it. He could use that he doesn't even touch it. But he feels like he's like, if he spends a nickel on the property, it's like, I'm losing money on this. Yeah, I'm losing money. Yeah. Like the other day, like the fridge was, this is how it came up. The fridge was broken. We sent someone out, fix it for $150. Okay. He's like, I can't believe this. The tenants. Like, it's not the tenant's fault, bro. Shit breaks. It happens. It's not a big deal. He's like, like every month I'm spending money. I'm like, you're not spending money every month. It's okay. He's like, that's why we don't need appliances. They should bring their own. I was like, Dad, do you trust me? He's like, yeah, but Levon said, I'm like, Dad, just listen to me. Leave this alone. Just leave it alone. And then he's like, the one tenant, they pay me 3 days late every month. I'm like, they're like, he's like, when their lease is up, they're gone. I don't want them anymore. They're terrible tenants. I'm like, why are they terrible? He's like, they pay late every month. I'm like, Bob, in the contract, it says they have up to 5 days after the initial pay date to pay.
I was just
I,
about to ask you this.
yeah, it's in the contract. And I've talked to the tenants about it. They're like, yeah, we get our checks. They live check to check, right? Paycheck to paycheck. And when their paycheck comes, it comes on the day that it's due. And then by the time it processes, and they send it out.
Isn't that normal?
That people just like pay a couple days late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. But he says they're terrible tenants. And yeah, it's so I've set this thing up to be like hands free, just like I don't hear from, like, it's been 6 months. I haven't heard from the tenants. I don't know if the house is still there. Well, my dad goes all the time, just to, I don't know for what reason.
Balls.
So in the back, in their garages, there's like a storage unit, and it's our storage unit. He's like, Shant, he calls me. He's like, I want to go by the storage unit. I got to go drop something off, pick something up from the storage unit. I was like, yeah, but it's locked because the tenants locked the gate, right? So no one could come in. He's like, yeah, just tell him I'm coming. Like, just tell him to give me a key, and I could just have a key. So if I ever need to go to the storage, I could just unlock it. I was like, yeah, that's not how that works, man. Like, you can't just show up to people's garages and just anytime you want. And do you want to know why he wanted to go to the storage unit?
Yeah, tell me.
Take a wild guess. Why would he need to go to the storage unit?
Do you have to get one of his grills?
No.
One of his mangas?
He's like, I'm gonna put some of my luggage in the storage unit over there.
He doesn't have enough room in his house?
No, he's like, I'm just gonna take some of the luggage and put it there. I was like, it was a Monday, 1 p.m. I'm fucking working. I'm like busy. He's like, yeah, I gotta go drop off some luggage. I'm like, Bob, I can't deal with this right now.
This is fucking ridiculous. You get upset. Enough of this shit.
He like called me like 3 times. I'm like, oh shit, it's important. Let me call him. He's like, hey, I gotta drop off some luggage. I'm like, why?
I
right
wonder
now?
if he can tell you this with a straight face.
I'm like, right now, this second, this is the most important thing. Like, we have to, like, this is it. Like, today. Like, can't be like tomorrow, next week, on the weekend. And then he goes there. The tenants call me after he goes there. Well, he texts me. He's like, hey, man, can we chat? Like, do you have time to chat? I'm like, yeah, I can call. He's like, hey, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, why? What's going on? He's like, so your dad came by today and he was kind of like mad at us. And I don't know, I couldn't understand him. And he's like, I just want to make sure we're okay. I was like, yeah, why? What what happened?
The fuck?
He's like, no, he just wanted to come into the storage area, and he just said, he's just going to come whenever. And we were like, oh, well, if you could just let us know when you're coming, in case like his wife is at home by herself, she might get freaked out, see someone walking into the, fair, right? And he's like, seems like he got mad, and he kind of walked away. I was like, all right, my dad, don't worry, like.
Disregard.
Yeah. He's not mad. He just looks mad all the time. I'm like, he's not mad. You guys are fine. Just don't worry about it. So like, he's just creating a lot of stress.
A lot of commotion, smoke.
Yeah. And I called my brother about it. Like, we're talking the other day. He's like, yeah, it's your fault. You wanted to, your idea, man. He's like, you got to deal with it. He has like no help. Just like, like, it's your call, bro. It's on you, man.
Gotta go.
Good luck with that.
So, question for you. You just mentioned your brother, and tying into sort of what I wanted to talk about today. What do you, as far as like investment diversity, what do you think Tavi is? What do you think his opinion is on investment? Do you think he's more tied into the concept of real estate being like the king of investment, or does he have his is his opinion very different from yours in terms of where to park your money?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So yeah, because I think we need to move on from my whole dad situation and talk a little bit.
Well, he raised you, so in you know he raised you and Tavi, and
Yeah,
you guys. I don't know. I'm interested to hear what the other Jonathan brother would invest his money in. We should have had him on the discussion too. Just chimed in real quick, but I mean, you know your brother pretty
yeah.
well.
I actually talked. So he was. So I talked to him and his wife Sam, right? So they have a goal, and they're on, I think, on track. They want to be retired by 50.
That's unbelievable, man. How do you retire by 50?
So they're very aggressive with putting money away towards investments, like the stock, like the mutual fund stock market, their retirement accounts. They put most of their money into those vehicles. So they have a number that they need to hit to feel fully good to retire. And, they're thinking retiring, leaving Jersey, going to either another state, maybe Portugal, live in Portugal. I'm sure your brother knows all about that, like living in another country. Like he probably just knows, probably has a connection in Portugal that I think he could help him out with. But
That's impressive, though, man.
yeah, so they're very diligent because originally they had some money that they, were looking to invest, and we talked about investing in real estate. Whether when I buy something with my business partner, they'd be like a silent partner, like to invest with us, and they get a return. Because my brother was like, I don't want to be hands-on in real estate, right? He just wants to be more hands-off. Like he doesn't want to deal with the shit I'm dealing right now with my dad, right? Like that's just
unnecessary.
Tavi, he doesn't want to deal with that. They were thinking of buying like something like in a lake town, so they could Airbnb and go to vacation and rent it out. But I think then he was like, hey, we'll just invest with you. But it's been very difficult for me to find something. So now they're going super aggressive on like the stock end of it, mutual funds, retirement accounts. They've been going strong with that, but now I think they're kicking it up a notch because they really want to retire by 50 and be done.
So, question for you in the sense that they want to be. So, two different aspects of this. One is investment, and one is spending, right? And how you spend your money that you invested and saved, right? So, I mean, obviously, Shant, I'm not a moron. I do need a little bit of help managing my money properly, just because I'm so busy to sort of keep an eye out on it. Some of my concerns are more, I don't know. I never was taught how to manage my money properly. Like even the concept of investing my money is still very, very new. And I feel kind of stupid, like if just parking my money in a savings account.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I want to put my money. But in terms of how you manage your money in order to be able to do all this, save aggressively, or maybe not just to save aggressively, but, let's say you manage to retire right now with the money that you have. I want to sort of have a discussion with you about how one would manage their money effectively. Like what are some systems people use?
Yeah. So I've gotten a lot of different advices from different, financial people and very successful people. Right. So I've kind of taken a little bit of all and that's the route I'm going. Right. Obviously, you guys should definitely take my financial advice. I'm a financial expert. Right. That was a joke. So talk to an expert if you're right, because I don't want to get sued for giving bad advice. My financial guy, because me and Betty had a budget, right? We used to budget, right? Our monthly expenses. We knew where our money was going, which is still very good. We still kind of do that. But our financial guy, who's one of the smartest people I know, said, instead of doing that, he's like, I prefer you guys do a 50-30-20 rule. Okay. So 50% of your check after taxes, of course, of your money goes towards essential items, house payment, car payment, utilities, right? Taxes, like all that stuff. 50% goes to that. 30% goes to your wants, like eating out, coffee, vacations, clothes, right? Those are your wants. 20% goes to investing. So if someone wants to just kind of take like a broad rule, that's a pretty solid, the 50-30-20 rule. Okay. And obviously, if you want to be more aggressive, you can go 20% wants, 30% investments. So I know your question is like, what route? So like what I'm doing now. Okay. So let's say I get a check for $10,000, right? Okay. I get a $10,000 check. 2,000 goes to taxes, right? I got 8,000 left. 2,000 will go into our like basic. No, probably 3,000 will go into our like basic checking account. Okay. Just for like bills and stuff like that, right? Our essentials and wants. And then I have 5,000 left. I'll look at our emergency account, or we have an emergency account, right? 3 to 6 month emergency. Okay. If that one's down a little bit, we'll replenish that. But let's say it's good. It's at 6 months, because right now our emergency is at 6 months reserves. Do you get the whole emergency fund?
Yeah. How much what do you take your essentials and what you times it by 6?
Yeah. So it could be 3 to 6 months, whatever your bills are, your necessity to live, like your mortgage, house payment, car, utilities, all this stuff, whatever your monthly expense is, times that by 3 to 6, that's your emergency fund. That just stays there for anything happens, right? So that's replenished. So we have $5,000. What do I do with that? I have a real estate account, right, where I throw money in there. So when I'm ready to buy a real estate, I have money there. Okay, so I have a separate real estate account. Let's say that's full. Not full. It's never full enough, but let's say it's good. Like I'm solid with that number. Then I'm like, okay, let's throw money into some stocks. Let's buy some crypto. Let's invest it somewhere. I don't want to. We try not to have any money in our savings account, because I think it's kind of pointless. And my financial guy said that as well. Another guy, very successful guy I know, said he has 12 months emergency funds saved. 12 months, right? Any other penny he gets, he invests, he risks it. But he's like, I'm high risk, right? He's trying to make it super, fast. So he's like, I have 12-month emergency fund. So in case something happens, me and my family are protected. He's like, anything else I get, I'm aggressively investing it in high risk, high reward investments.
So
Thoughts on that?
yeah, there's a lot of investing taking place. It's almost like there's multiple different avenues of investing. My concern is somebody that's just not familiar enough with where they're putting their money getting lost in playing around with investment. So could you tell me, if you were to invest in one or two things, somebody that just like me, that doesn't necessarily have enough time or patience to sort of be fooling around with like monitoring crypto, monitoring particular stocks and stuff like that, what would you say is the better way to park your money, the easier way to park your money somewhere?
So I think there's two, right? I think one, you should have probably like a Roth IRA investment account, like retirement account, right? Because you own a business, you don't really have a retirement, right? Your retirement's your business, right? But you should have something else, right? So that's one. Set up a Roth. There's different investments. There's big debates whether you want Roth or 401k, whatever it is. Just you do your research, figure out which one you like, because one is pre-tax, one is after tax, whatever. I don't know the full thing.
Ani Catering has retirement benefits.
Okay. And yeah, I think you're going to stay there for a little bit. So it's probably
a safe bet. So me more, I have to start managing my spending correctly, because like I spend like an asshole. Just I'll go to Shaw's instead of like Market Basket, which is basically like I'll go to like, how do I explain this properly? Like I'll get the brand name as opposed to the generic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I will go and I'll buy something like not on sale. Like I could have just went down to like the next booth over and just bought non-organic and saved like $5 a pound. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, like that looks good. The color on that looks nice and green. I'm gonna get that one, and I'll throw it away and not eat it like in three
Yeah.
days. It's just fucked up shit. And I'm very impulsive.
Yeah.
That's the ADHD kicking in. Like I'll buy shit off of Amazon. It'll just sit there in the box for a couple of weeks, and I won't even open it.
You're like, I want to return it, but you just forget, and it's like too
Yeah,
late.
can you tell me a little bit about your spending? What goes through your mind when you're about to buy something?
So it's a good question, right? So backtrack real quick, and I'm going to answer that question. Where to park your money besides in 401k stuff that you guys do have? Mutual funds is probably the safest bet, right? You look up best mutual funds, you put in the ticker, you look at the companies invested, you're like, okay, it has Apple, Microsoft, Tesla. Okay, I like this one. You just park your money there. Pretty safe, right? So spending habit. I'm very similar to you where I don't even look at what I'm buying. I just see it. It looks like what we're supposed to get. I buy it. A lot of times I come home, Betty's like, dude, this is literally, like you said, it was on sale. You just have to get the one right next to it. Why didn't you just get the one?
That's what I mean.
I'm like, oh, I don't know. It just would look better. I don't know. She's like, get me cheese or something. And I come back, it's like vegan cheese. She's like, do you look at like, like, do you read? I'm like, nah, I just said cheese. I don't know. But so I had a lunch one day when I was at a real estate conference with with a couple, very successful, very wealthy couple, right? And they were talking about spending. And she's like, what I do is if I'm going to buy something online or I'm at the mall, I'm at the store, I'm going to buy something. She's like, I don't buy it. I give myself 48 hours. If I still want it, I'll go back to the store. Or if I still need it, I'll go online and buy it. She's like, that's really helped her with her compulsive shopping. Just leave it. Give it 48 hours. If you still want it, go get it. Usually you probably don't care to go back to get it.
So, question for you: my friends usually they go out to eat once a week. Most of the time, they're going out once a week, and I like to spend time with my friends, especially nowadays where I'm like saying like, oh, I'm trying to like cut back on working so much and like hanging out. But it's like every time we go out to eat, it's like $200 a pop.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, if you add it up, if I'm not mistaken, that comes out to about $500. I'm kidding. No, it comes out to about $800 a month. Like it's like
a lot of money.
Yeah. So it's like, what do you do? Do you like say you were in my shoes? It's like, all right, you want to manage your money a little bit more effectively. Like, I'll meet you guys there for drinks, or like, hey, you guys mind if we eat somewhere that's not a fucking Michelin 5-star restaurant?
Yeah. So what I would do, right, in that sense, because I've been there, right? A couple things. One, it's like, hey, I'll meet you guys after, right, for a drink. Two, it's like, hey, let's switch it up a little bit, right? Like maybe why don't we one day every other week just do it at our house and barbecue or something, like just switch it up, or just don't go 1 week, right? Because that adds up, right? Because that's that, and then it's coffees every day, and then it's
I spend $14 a day on iced coffees.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. And now it's a habit. It's not even like you necessarily need it. It's such a habit right now for you where the place you go to, it's the same place probably every day. You go, you pick it up. You don't even need the coffee.
No.
You've been working out. You're waking up early. Huh?
It's decaf too. Just FYI.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's simple money management stuff that I really, really am setting a goal to get myself better in. But it's not like Shant, are you fucking perfect? Like, do you spend your money completely perfectly? Don't you have these moments where you're just like, why the fuck did I buy that?
Well, Yeah, I mean, so yes, right. So here, so as we're talking, right, this is what I'm shopping right now.
Panini. Oh yeah. So, but no, but you're trying to make money off of these card purchases.
Yeah.
You're trying to like buy collectibles and like sports cards and stuff to flip. But it's like, dude, me,
No, I know. I'm just joking, but I'm going to answer your question. So first,
like clothes. Let's talk
yeah,
about stuff like this, like the quality of groceries, the clothes you buy, the frequency of the times of clothes you buy, how many vacations you might go on. Like, do I need to go on a weekend trip with the guys again? Probably not. But it's
okay,
like, fuck it, let's go. And you know what? Yeah, let's upgrade the room as best as we can too while we're there. It's like,
okay.
tell me a
So
little bit more about
yeah,
that.
so day to day, so I don't spend a lot on clothes, right? Betty legit has to like, I could wear the same thing every day, right? Betty has to like beg for me to like buy new clothes. She's like, hey, I bought you a nice, this is a shirt I wore today at work, you know, $15 from Target, right?
That's amazing. So right there, boom. So you answered question number one. Is like your wardrobe is not
Not that
super
serious.
intricate. Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I do spend a little extra on. So I like myself some Lululemons, right? I'm a Lululemon guy. Uh,
Super foo-foo. Okay.
I like their dress pants, right? I wear their dress pants. I have 3 pairs. They're on the expensive side, but I have 3 dress pants total. They're really comfortable. They're breathable because it's hot here, and they're sportier. And so I wear those with shoes and everything, right? So I have a very limited wardrobe. Okay. That's one. Okay. Not saying I don't spend any money. The certain items I will spend a little bit more. And I got a nice blazer that I spent a little bit extra on suit supply store. It's like $300, $200, but it's the lightest fucking blazer you could find. So I could wear it and I'm not going to be super hot. It's breathable. It doesn't wrinkle.
You said Suit Supply?
Yeah. You guys
Do you
have
like
one
them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Considering going there, getting measured and stuff like that, just to make life easy later on.
Sacco approves of that store, so it's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So your spending on clothes is very it's very moderate to low.
Yeah. Certain things I'll spend a little extra on, but for the most part, it's a low spending on clothes. Okay. Right. Sometimes like yes, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna spend stuff. Sometimes I'm pretty, like eating out's been a pretty rough habit, like DoorDash,
How much do you
Instacart.
guys spend a week, you think, on takeout?
Now it's not as much. Now it's very limited. Before, like January, December and January were rough. I was literally Instacarting. I wanted bananas. I Instacarted bananas. It was like $20 to get fucking bananas.
Bananas are cheap too, man. Why are you doing that?
It's just like, oh, Leo needs bananas. It's like, it's 7:00. I don't feel like getting up. Just fucking just call him up. So just retarded, right? So I do spend sometimes on stupid stuff, but the main thing, right? And we'll talk about vacations. I don't go on a lot of vacations. I don't go on a lot of trips, right? But when I do it right. Like you said, I will upgrade. I'll try to get the nicer stuff, but I'm not doing it every month, right? A weekend trip every month. I'm not trying to do, but when I do go, it's like, hey, let's get the best room possible if, within reason, right? Sometimes there's like $10,000 a night rooms. I'm not about that life yet. So
can you tell me a little bit about how to manage, how to budget my money? Let's say, Shant, for instance, after tax, I'm getting, say, $10,000 a month, and I need to budget my money appropriately. You got the 50-30-20 rule sort of nailed down. You got 10 grand a month coming in, and 50% of that is, say, wants. So, no, sorry, is necessities, which 50% is weird because you also have to tally up how much your necessities are. So let's say, for instance, I got a $600 a month. Maybe we can write this down too. So, I've got a $600 a month lease payment. I pay about $150 for insurance. I got, say, $200 in $150 in phone bill.
Mm-hmm.
$2,400 mortgage.
Okay.
Let me see if I'm missing something here. Major expenses and utilities. I'd say about another $200. $2,600, $2,900. That's $3,500 out of the $10K. $10,000 minus $3,500 leaves me with $6,500. You said that 20% was supposed to be saved, right? So 2,000 of that we got to subtract now, which leaves us with $4,500. $4,500 for wants.
Yeah, and you could adjust it, right? So that means if you're going to go on vacation anytime soon, you're saving that money, right? So it's not credit card. It's not, oh, let me, let me try to dip into my savings. That's why the wants are a little bit higher, right? Now, as far as budgeting, right? Or you're asking, right? That was your question? How do I budget?
Yeah, budget this. Do you think that this 50, 30, 20 is accurate right now?
So I'm going to show you something real quick.
And I got to be brutally honest with you here. Sometimes I can't even recall the shit that I bought this month, but like randomly I bought a new coffee table and a kitchen table for like $1,600 the other day, and I completely forgot about it. Like the delivery was scheduled, I think, for like next week, and I completely forgot. Like, oh shit, I have a new coffee table and kitchen table coming in. So like I just remembered $4,500 wants. This shit should really be in the back of my mind, but it's not. So do you think that 30% of your budget should indeed be wants, because wants is such a broad net?
It's your.
We didn't include groceries in this.
What?
We didn't include groceries.
Well, that's your kind of wants and needs, right?
Is it?
Yeah. That's all in there.
Huh. Okay. So I probably spend about $300 a week. So say $1,200. So now we're left with $3,300.
So trying to find. Hang on. So first, what you have to do, okay? What you have to do, first and foremost, before anything, is what is your goal? Like your long-term, short-term, what is your, like, what are you trying to get to in life, right? You have to like be super, super, super specific, right? If you're not, none of this is going to work, right? So you have to get very, very intentional of like, so every year me and Betty set out, we sit down, we talk about our long-term and then our year, what do we want to accomplish this year? Because once you have that, you're going to think twice about going out to that $200 dinner every week, right? Because you buying a third or second property is going to be more important, right? So what we've done since 2014 and 2015, I'll show you our 2014, 2015. Hang on.
It's funny that you say that while you're pulling that up. So this year I made a very bad miscalculation. With the amount of money that I made, the amount of money that I set aside for taxes, and the money I invested, I was hoping to still have left over $10,000 to use to invest in an upcoming real estate purchase. And I fucked up and miscalculated so much that I not only lost the 10,000 that I was supposed to use for a real estate purchase, I had to dig in another 5K to my investment in order to cover my tax bill.
Mm,
Just a
yeah.
horrible appropriation of budgeting. And I don't know how that could have really been avoided. It's
So I'm
like,
gonna. Yeah.
huh,
So first thing you got to do is for the next 3-4 months, you have to look at where's your money going. You have to track every penny. So this is 2014. Okay, we've been doing this since 2014. We were in debt. So total expenses, total income, savings. We didn't have a lot of money back then, right? This is the estimated. This is what actually happened.
mm,
We go down rent. What's our rent cost? Commuting, car insurance, cell phone, gym, student loans, credit cards, food, giving, entertainment, all were here, right? So 2015, right? Um, so real quick, and then we have a thing here. You look at the percentage, what goes towards groceries, what goes. This is when we were living with my parents. Actually, that's why groceries were so low, it was 1%. But investing was 20%. Saving of our money was 20%, 30% for that month, right? So March in 2015, expenses. So like we broke down. So let me go back to 2018. This is 2019. We broke down groceries, water, household stuff, cash, spending, iTunes, Ross, and at home that Betty goes to, coffee, Uber, nails, everything, TJ Maxx, fucking everything was accounted for, right? This was like our goal for like what we wanted, house renovation, fertility stuff, yeah, just stuff, right? So super in depth about what we were spending, right? We were tracking it since 2014, bro. When we got married, Betty created that spreadsheet. Super diligent. Every month we would go over our expenses together. We would look at it and be like, okay, hey, we spent a lot in eating out this month. Let's kind of slow down a little bit, or we did too much here, right? Because we looked 1 month this past year, a year ago, for 2 months straight, our grocery bill was $1,200 a month.
why is that so? Can you explain to me the logic
Yeah.
behind your grocery shopping
Well,
when you guys were doing that?
and I was eating once a day at the time. So I'm like,
How?
it's because when you're not paying attention, right? Money just goes, right? So just buying stupid shit, door dashing a lot. That was when I was doing a lot of the Instacart where they deliver it, right? And it ballooned up for 12. So we looked at it like shit. We tracked it. We're like, okay, boom. Next month we cut it down to $600 a month, right? We got it down. We saw our weakness, but it's really opening up your eyes by tracking every penny, which is going to take some work, which sucks. I know you don't have a lot of time. Really tracking where you're spending your money daily into the month, looking at your income, looking at your expenses, and be like, okay, where can I cut some stuff, right? And then you can really get into the whole your essentials, your wants, your investing. Then you're like, okay, what percentage am I at with this stuff? Where can I cut? What can I do? And then that's when you could really get diligent on investing. Now we don't budget as much. We just like every couple months, Betty checks the budget, looks at it, and is like, okay, hey, we're a little off here because we got a
It would
good
make a lot
system.
of sense the way that I track my spending, maybe to track the spending and just use one credit card so that I can get a better understanding of what's being spent
Probably, right? It's probably
instead
the
of using
best.
fucking six different like
Yeah, and
PayPal.
yeah, and on this we had different stuff, so it's more work. So yeah, I definitely recommend if you could do one, definitely. But dude, like we were 20,000 in debt, right? When we got married, each of us were making like 40 grand a year. We got out of debt really quick because we knew where every penny was going. Now, not saying you're trying to implement that, but you're trying to like see where your money is to see how much you have extra every month to invest. Because what you ideally want to do is you get money, you put money in taxes, you put that away, you put some money into your checking account for the monthly spending. The rest, you invest it and it's gone. Now you don't fucking have, you can't go to, you have to be a little bit more careful because we don't like to carry a lot of cash on us, like in our accounts, because when you have a lot of cash, you're like, whatever, I'm just going to spend. You don't care. But you have to do your budget, I think. Well, I don't want to say you have to.
No. I need to be, put it this way, Sean. Some people think I have everything figured out. I know how to work. I know how to make a business run. I'm not perfect when it comes to spending, bro. I spend on stupid shit. I like nice things. I buy nice things, but I don't have millions and millions of dollars saved.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It really is okay. Like I'm not trying to pass on a false facade of being this super, super rich guy, a very successful business. I'm just an average businessman.
Yeah.
Long story short, though, is super, super helpful. So you're saying basically track your expenditures using, if you can, one credit card.
Yeah.
Watch it, monitor it for the next couple of months. Do your normal spending. Sit down and see exactly how much you're making, how much you're spending, and start to get a little bit detailed in terms of what your yearly goal actually is. Quantifiable goal. Are you trying to save $25,000 for a down payment for something, or is it, I'm hoping to set aside each month $2,000 in a mutual fund? You're saying to get very, very specific in terms of you're saying get very, very specific quantifiably.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very, very useful advice. So money management 101, learn what you're spending. Get very, very detailed about what you're spending so that you learn your habits, your bad habits. Figure out exactly how much you're making and come up with what you're actually trying to do with the money. And that will determine your budget.
Yeah.
Okay. So 50, 30, 20 isn't for everybody. It's just a general guideline.
Yeah. And obviously you probably want to do probably more than 20 in investing, right? But you can't know until you know your numbers, where your money is going, how much you're spending, what your criteria is. So I would really give it 3 months, 4 months of tracking your numbers. I could give you our spreadsheet, right? Betty has some blank ones, I think, that we give to people when they need it. And yeah, just think that'd be the best thing for you, man.
I'll start getting started on tracking my spending once after I buy these tickets to Spain that I'm supposed to book with the guys. It's going to be a bad couple months for my bank account, especially taxes hit on Monday, and it was not pretty. If anybody's curious, it's not doing too well right now after that.
We'll get you there, man. I think the biggest thing is,
I'm just fucking around, but it was not pretty. It was not pretty.
I think paying attention more to the money is important. A lot of us, because I was like that, right? And thank God for Betty, because she kind of took control of it, because I still don't pay attention to it. She does more of it. Lets me know, like, hey, slow down here, go, it's okay, or, blah, blah, blah. I just invest it. She takes care of like the budgeting. I take care of the investing. And I just got lucky that she paid attention, because that's the biggest thing. I think you need to really just pay attention to your money. A lot of us don't. We rather just not look at it, and it just goes away.
Agreed. Thank you. So yeah, I'll start getting started tracking in better detail what's happening exactly. 'Cause I'd be very interested. I can guarantee you that a lot of people have this same problem of just spending like an asshole and just getting away with it because they make decent money, but they can
Yeah,
make
it's like
so much more.
yeah, I think it's time for you to start investing and looking at other avenues and really setting that up, man.
Fuck, man, it's just really difficult, man. On my schedule, it's just like, dude, when you get home from
I
just
know.
taking a taking a laborious beating.
Hire someone for that, dude.
I did, but it was like they didn't.
Do
Maybe
much,
we'll
right?
talk about that. How to get how to get investment advice that's not like, you know, completely one sided. Like they're trying to sell you their like company's favorite product.
Yeah, that's the tough part. I mean, I do have an investment guy. He obviously, I'm lucky. He's kind of like family. He's a friend, and I trust him. So I pretty much lucked out on that end. Um, you would have to look for a referral that you know that you trust solidly, man. It's
Well,
tough.
maybe it'll be a future episode how I went about finding the investment professional. If anybody needs on if anybody needs YouTubing advice or Sharma rapping advice that's not completely corrupted, nowhere to find me. Just laying that out there.
Your Sharma raps, because people don't understand. Sharma rap is actually like fucking important. Like you can't.
I have a video about this in the next few days. I'm about to
Okay.
show people how to do it so that it stays just uniform, very nice, tight.
Yeah, because it could make or break your sandwich when you're eating it, right? Because it could be too tight where you can't even open it, and then you're just like stuck in the middle. Then there's like it's too loose, it's falling, everything. So, and obviously I've had some
sauce dripping down your fucking
your
sleeve.
All right, I got to go buy this $2,000 card right now. So let me make. They just made a counter offer, so I have to kind of do some.
All right, man. Enjoy the $15 strawberries. Or what was it? $20 bananas. Just whatever it was. I hope they're brown on delivery.
Yeah.
Fucking guy. Oh man.
The driver's probably pissed. Like, what an asshole! Like ordering.
Yeah, dude. Like here I am, fucking crying for money. This guy's ordering $20 bananas. Shitty bananas.
Leaves it in the front, steps out the bag on it, just the bananas just out there. Like,
for his son that's just gonna come and just throw him across the room. Leo, what are you doing? So cute.
Well,
anyway, all right.
All right.
Good night, Shant.
Good night, everyone.